Today, we will have a group discussion on unsupervised learning. We have Shreya, Rishi, Dipali, Jayesh, and Atin here to share their thoughts. Let's start with Shreya. Shreya, can you explain what unsupervised learning is? Sure. Unsupervised learning is a type of machine learning where the algorithm is used to draw inferences from datasets consisting of input data without labeled responses. In other words, the system tries to learn patterns and structures from the data without any predefined labels or categories. It is mainly used for clustering and association tasks. Great introduction, Shreya. Rishi, why do you think unsupervised learning is important?
Unsupervised learning is important because it helps in discovering hidden patterns and intrinsic structures in data. This is useful in various applications like market basket analysis, customer segmentation, anomaly detection, and more. It can provide insights that may not be immediately obvious, helping businesses and researchers make more informed decisions.
Excellent points, Rishi. Dipali, can you discuss some common types of unsupervised learning algorithms?
Of course, some common types of unsupervised learning algorithms include clustering algorithms like k-means and hierarchical clustering, which group data points based on similarity. Another type is association algorithms like a priori and ECLA, which are used for market basket analysis to find relationships between variables in large datasets. There are also dimensionality reduction techniques like principal component analysis, PCA, and t-SNE that help reduce the number of features while preserving the data's structure.
Well said, Dipali. Jayesh, how does k-means clustering work?
K-means clustering works by partitioning the data into k clusters, where each data point belongs to the cluster with the nearest mean. The algorithm starts by initializing k centroids randomly, then iteratively assigns each data point to the nearest centroid and updates the centroids based on the mean of the points in each cluster. This process repeats until the centroids no longer change significantly, indicating that the algorithm has converged.
Excellent explanation, Jayesh. Atin, can you explain the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning?
Sure. The main difference between supervised and unsupervised learning is that supervised learning uses labeled data, meaning each input data point is paired with the correct output. The algorithm learns to map inputs to outputs. In unsupervised learning, the data is not labeled, and the algorithm tries to identify patterns and structures on its own. Supervised learning is used for tasks like classification and regression, while unsupervised learning is used for clustering, association, and dimensionality reduction.
Great differentiation, Atin. Shreya, can you provide an example of a real-world application of unsupervised learning? One real-world application of unsupervised learning is in customer segmentation for marketing. Businesses can use clustering algorithms to group customers based on purchasing behavior, demographics, and other attributes. These segments can then be targeted with personalized marketing strategies, improving customer engagement and sales. Great example, Shreya. Rishi, can you share some challenges or limitations associated with unsupervised learning?
One major challenge of unsupervised learning is the lack of clear evaluation metrics since there are no labels to compare against. Another limitation is that the algorithms can sometimes produce results that are hard to interpret. Additionally, unsupervised learning can be computationally intensive, especially with large datasets. Finding the right number of clusters or components can also be challenging and often requires domain knowledge and experimentation.
Those are significant challenges, Rishi. Dipali, can you suggest some best practices to overcome these challenges?
To overcome these challenges, it's important to pre-process the data thoroughly, removing noise and normalizing the features. Using visualization techniques can help interpret the results better. Selecting the right number of clusters can be aided by methods like the elbow method or silhouette analysis. Finally, combining unsupervised learning with expert knowledge and validation techniques can improve the reliability and interpretability of the results.
Excellent suggestions, Dipali. Jayesh, any final thoughts on the future of unsupervised learning?
I think the future of unsupervised learning will see more integration with advanced techniques like deep learning to handle more complex and high-dimensional data. Hybrid models that combine supervised and unsupervised learning will become more common, leveraging the strengths of both approaches. Additionally, as data continues to grow, there will be a greater emphasis on scalability and efficiency of these algorithms.
That's a great perspective, Jayesh. Thank you all for your valuable insights on unsupervised learning. This concludes our group discussion. I hope you all learned a lot today.